Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I am Dr. S.K. Singh, holding a PhD, and I am pleased to be here with you. Today, we will be exploring manufacturing and quality challenges in pharma manufacturing. Over the course of this presentation, we'll look into the key issues faced by the industry, discuss common obstacles, and consider potential solutions. I look forward to sharing insights and engaging with you all. Let's get started. Welcome to Slide 2. Here, we're focusing on the core purpose of pharma manufacturing. It's all about ensuring safety, efficacy, and quality of the medicines we produce. These are the foundational pillars that guarantee patients receive treatments that are not only effective, but also safe to use and of consistent quality. Now, because medicines directly impact people's health, the industry operates under strict regulations. These regulations are in place to make sure that manufacturing processes meet high standards. For example, in the United States, the FDA oversees this through 21 CFR Parts 210 and 211, which set the guidelines for good manufacturing practices. Similarly, in Europe, we have the EU GMP guidelines, and worldwide, the World Health Organization has its own GMP standards. These are all designed to create a uniform level of quality across different markets. It's important to note that GMP, or good manufacturing practice, isn't just a set of guidelines. It's a legally enforceable requirement everywhere globally. This means manufacturers are legally obliged to follow these standards to ensure their products are safe and effective. So, in summary, maintaining compliance with these regulations is crucial for the integrity of the pharmaceutical industry and, ultimately, for patient safety. This slide highlights how these regulatory frameworks support the overall goal of delivering high-quality medicines to those who need them most. Let's walk through the manufacturing life cycle, which is a crucial part of ensuring we get high-quality medicines. It all starts with raw material sourcing, where we select the best ingredients needed for production. Next is API synthesis, where the active pharmaceutical ingredient, or API, is actually created through complex chemical processes. After that, we move on to drug product manufacturing, where the API is formulated into the final drug form that patients will use. Finally, there's packaging and distribution, ensuring the product reaches the right patients safely and efficiently. Now, underlying all these steps are some scientific principles. Critical quality attributes, or CQAs, are the key characteristics that define the quality of the final product. These CQAs are influenced by critical process parameters, or CPPs, which are the critical variables during manufacturing that we control tightly. Understanding the relationship between CQAs and CPPs is essential because it helps us ensure consistent quality. If we can control the CPPs effectively, we can reliably produce a drug that meets its quality attributes every time. This connection is fundamental to our overall goal of delivering safe, effective medicines. Let's take a closer look at some of the key regulatory expectations that guide our quality systems. First, we have the implementation of ICH Q10, which is all about establishing a robust pharmaceutical quality system. This framework helps ensure quality is built into every aspect of our manufacturing process. Alongside that, we need to focus on ICH Q9, R1, which emphasizes quality risk management. This means proactively identifying potential risks and applying appropriate measures to mitigate them, ultimately safeguarding product quality and patient safety. A strong focus within these regulations is on data integrity. Ensuring our data is accurate, complete, and reliable is fundamental because it underpins all our quality decisions. Validation is another critical area, making sure that our processes and systems consistently produce the desired outcomes. Validated processes are the backbone of quality assurance. Documentation, of course, is essential. Proper, thorough documentation not only provides traceability, but also supports compliance and continuous improvement. Finally, good manufacturing practices, or GMP, translate all these principles into tangible, auditable controls. GMP ensures that every step of production is controlled, consistent, and transparent, which helps us meet regulatory expectations and maintain high-quality standards. Now, let's take a closer look at the challenge of regulatory complexity. As you can see, navigating the regulatory landscape involves dealing with multiple global agencies, including the FDA, EMA, WHO, and MHRA. Each of these organizations has its own set of rules and expectations, which can change frequently and evolve over time. Staying compliant requires constant attention to these updates. Moreover, there's an increasing enforcement of good manufacturing practices, or GMP, around the world. This means the compliance burden is getting heavier, and companies need to be more diligent than ever. For example, a process that might be straightforward for approval in one region could require additional validation for approval in another, like the US versus the EU. This adds another layer of complexity, making it clear that understanding and managing these differences is crucial to successful global operations. Let's talk about one of the biggest challenges we face: data integrity, which is actually the top observation noted by the FDA. Ensuring data integrity isn't just a good practice, it's mandatory under the ALCOA Plus principles. Now, ALCOA Plus stands for attributable, legible, contemporaneous, original, accurate, and the plus includes complete, consistent, and enduring. These principles set the standard for reliable data. Common failures that lead to issues with data integrity include missing audit trails and data falsification. Audit trails are crucial because they provide a traceable record of all changes made to data, ensuring transparency and accountability. When audit trails are missing, it raises serious concerns about data reliability. Data falsification is even more concerning because it involves intentionally altering or fabricating data. This is a serious violation and can have severe consequences. In fact, data integrity issues are among the most frequently cited reasons in FDA 483 observations. To illustrate the gravity of these issues, consider an example: falsified manufacturing data. If such falsification occurs, it can lead to an import alert and even a product ban. This highlights how critical it is to maintain impeccable data integrity not just for compliance, but for patient safety and product quality. Let's talk about contamination control, which is a crucial part of ensuring product quality and safety. There are several types of contamination we need to watch out for: microbial contamination, cross-contamination, and particulate contamination. Each of these can compromise the integrity of the final product. Poor sanitation and cleaning are major GMP violations and can lead to serious issues. For example, inadequate aseptic practices can cause sterility failures, which might result in product recalls, something we definitely want to avoid. Now, moving on to process variability and scale-up. It's important to remember that lab-scale processes don't always translate directly to commercial-scale manufacturing. Scientific factors like heat transfer, mixing kinetics, and reaction pathways can behave quite differently when you scale up. These differences can impact the process, leading to batch failures or impurity variations. For instance, during scale-up, unexpected impurity formation might occur, and that can affect product quality and regulatory compliance. Overall, understanding these challenges helps us better control our processes and ensure consistent, safe products as we move from the lab to full production. Now, let's take a closer look at supply chain and raw material risks. Global sourcing can be quite complex, and with that complexity comes certain risks. For example, variability in raw materials can impact product quality, and the risk of counterfeit materials entering the supply chain is a real concern. GMP, or good manufacturing practice, requires us to have full traceability and thorough supplier qualification processes in place. To illustrate, if there's a change in the supplier, it could lead to an altered impurity profile in the product, which might result in batch rejection. This is why rigorous supplier management is so critical. Moving on to quality systems, or QMS, weak quality systems can lead to serious issues. For instance, Ineffective CAPA, or corrective and preventive actions, can leave problems unresolved, and poor deviation investigations mean root causes aren't properly identified or addressed. Regulators often point out that weak investigation systems are systemic failures, highlighting their importance. For example, repeated deviations due to ineffective root cause analysis can undermine product quality and compliance. In summary, managing these risks involves careful oversight of the entire supply chain and robust quality systems to ensure consistent, high-quality products. Let's talk about documentation and SOP compliance. One of the biggest issues we see is failure to follow written procedures, which can lead to incomplete batch records. This is a serious compliance concern because when SOPs aren't adhered to, it increases the risk of errors and noncompliance. For example, an incomplete batch record can result in batch rejection, which impacts production and regulatory approval. Now, moving on to inspection and compliance pressure. Since the COVID pandemic, there's been a noticeable increase in inspections. This has led to more warning letters and import alerts for companies that don't meet regulatory standards. The FDA continues to enforce strict rules around data integrity, sterility failures, and validation gaps. In fact, there are cases where facilities have been banned from the U.S. market altogether due to GMP violations. The key takeaway here is that maintaining thorough documentation and strict SOP compliance isn't just about avoiding penalties. It's essential for ensuring product quality, regulatory approval, and market access. This overall focus on compliance ties directly into our broader goal of building a robust and trustworthy manufacturing process. Now, let's take a look at some of the emerging challenges we're facing in this rapidly evolving landscape. First, the complexity of biologics and advanced therapies is increasing significantly. These products are more sophisticated, which means our manufacturing processes need to be just as advanced to ensure quality and consistency. Then, there's the shift towards continuous manufacturing, which offers many benefits like improved efficiency and faster production cycles, but also introduces new operational challenges. We're also seeing a big push towards AI and digital GMP, integrating digital technologies into our good manufacturing practices to enhance oversight and decision-making. However, with these innovations come increased regulatory scrutiny, especially on complex products. Regulators are paying closer attention to how these therapies are developed and produced, making compliance even more critical. This ties into the broader theme of technology and digital transformation. Transitioning from traditional paper-based systems to electronic ones is a significant challenge. It's not just about digitizing records, but also about ensuring seamless automation integration. When digital systems aren't implemented properly, it can impact data reliability and compliance. For example, if there's no proper audit trail, it can lead to regulatory noncompliance, which we absolutely want to avoid. So, the key takeaway here is that embracing digital transformation is essential, but we must be mindful of these challenges to stay compliant and maintain product integrity. Let's talk about some key mitigation strategies to strengthen our quality systems. First, we have the implementation of quality by design, or QBD. This approach encourages us to build quality into the process from the very beginning, ensuring that we design quality into the product rather than just testing for it at the end. It's a proactive way to identify potential risks early and manage them effectively. Next, we consider a risk-based approach, as outlined in ICH-Q9. This means we prioritize our efforts based on the level of risk associated with different processes or materials. By focusing on high-risk areas, we can allocate our resources more efficiently and prevent potential issues before they arise. Moving on to strengthening our systems, data integrity is paramount. Ensuring that our data is accurate, complete, and consistent throughout the product lifecycle is critical for compliance and for making informed decisions. Additionally, we must focus on supplier qualification. Building strong relationships with reliable suppliers and thoroughly assessing their capabilities helps us mitigate risks related to raw materials and components. Finally, digital GMP systems are increasingly important. Implementing robust digital tools enhances traceability, reduces manual errors, and streamlines compliance efforts across our manufacturing processes. Together, these strategies form a comprehensive approach to mitigating risks and maintaining the highest quality standards in our operations. Let's now look at how strategic adaptation plays a crucial role in our overall approach, and I'll briefly wrap up with some key conclusions. First, implementing a pharmaceutical quality system based on ICH Q10 is fundamental. This framework helps us ensure consistent quality across all stages of manufacturing. Next, adopting digital GMP systems is essential for modernizing our operations. These systems enhance real-time monitoring, improve data integrity, and streamline compliance efforts. We also need to leverage advanced analytics, which allow us to gain deeper insights into process performance and quality trends. This proactive approach supports better decision-making and risk mitigation. Speaking of risk, adopting risk-based approaches is vital. It helps prioritize resources and focus on areas with the greatest impact on patient safety and product quality. All these strategies, digital systems, analytics, and risk-based methods, are interconnected and support our overall goal: maintaining high-quality standards while adapting to evolving regulatory and technological landscapes. In conclusion, embracing these innovative practices ensures we stay resilient, compliant, and competitive in the ever-changing pharmaceutical industry. For further support, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here to help with any questions or additional information you might need. Remember, we're committed to ensuring you feel confident and well-informed. And with that, I want to sincerely thank you for your time and attention today. Your engagement is truly appreciated, and I hope you found this presentation valuable. Thank you again, and have a great day.